What kind of boy is he? The young lad who one day will have presidents, kings, and millions of admiring compatriots reaching out to him from all over the world. The heir to the British throne has just recently turned 10. Yet he has already become a symbol of his generation and a genuine sensation that the media discusses almost daily. Prince George of Wales, however, does much more than just pose for photos in his impeccably pressed school uniform. This is a child who crafts the perfect pizza, asks tough questions to his Uncle Harry, and can momentarily paralyze even the most seasoned prime minister with his incredibly serious gaze. Most importantly, he is already following in the footsteps of his legendary grandmother, Princess Diana, capturing the hearts of millions. While the world debates how he manages to balance the status of a future monarch with the antics of an ordinary child, British brands couldn't be happier. Anything George wears or anything remotely connected to him instantly becomes a top-selling item. Yet, behind the flawless facade of royal life lie unexpected quirks. From his internet nickname to the fashion trends inspired by him, which parents in the know eagerly replicate. So who is he, really? A throne heir on a mission to inspire, or an unyielding 10-year-old rebel? Discover the secrets of his upbringing, the mysteries of his childhood, and surprising glimpses into his world in this must-read feature. Ever since that distant July in 2013, when news of his birth set media outlets ablaze, the eldest son of Prince William and Duchess Kate has remained one of the most famous children in history. His every move is under scrutiny. The press follows his every moment, and photos of the boy instantly go viral. George's arrival was a true global sensation. Even before he was born, bets were being placed on him. People around the world speculated on what the future king would be named and whether he would be a boy or a girl. Remarkably, even before his birth, articles about him were published in several national language editions of Wikipedia. His full name, George Alexander Lewis, harks back to British history and the family's distinguished ancestors. His first name honors King George VI, the beloved father of Queen Elizabeth II. His middle name, Alexander, connects him to Queen Elizabeth's mother, the iconic Alexandra of Denmark. While his last name, Lewis, is a nod to Prince Louis Mountbatten, a relative and close friend of the royal family. Thus, even George's name is a carefully considered piece of his monarchical heritage. Not every child can boast both their royal status and their school titles. At school, he is simply called George Cambridge, but his heritage follows him everywhere. He is the son of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, the grandson of King Charles III, and one of the most talked about school children in the world. Surprisingly, bringing up such a high-profile child doesn't require magic. George doesn't have just 2 godparents, but 7. Among them are close relatives, university friends of his parents, and even advisors to the royal family. Amusingly, George's childhood is infused not only with traditions, but also with freedom. His parents, William and Kate, actively challenge established palace protocols by giving their children what they call a grounded upbringing. Yes, George will one day be king, but for now, he's allowed to relish being a child, even if his childhood isn't entirely typical. Duchess Catherine, insiders say, personally looks after her kids and has even publicly declared that she won't tolerate austere, puritanical rules under her roof. Interestingly, George already grasps what lies ahead for him. According to those close to the family, he has been told that one day he will become king. Yet, his parents go to great lengths to shield him from unnecessary pressure, striving to make him feel like a regular child as much as possible. Prince William has shared that his conversations with George often astonish him with their depth. The boy is already beginning to notice the differences between his life and that of his peers. Perhaps this awareness will shape him into the ideal future monarch, someone capable of uniting people. Contrary to what some may expect, palace grandeur hasn't made today's young royals spoiled. George, his sister Charlotte, and his younger brother Louis are brought up in a strict yet warm environment. As modern aristocrats, William and Kate aim to balance the weight of monarchy with their children's happiness. In past centuries, young princes and princesses were often raised by an army of palace staff, but the current generation of royal children is growing up almost like ordinary kids. The 3 siblings share one nanny, and Duchess Kate takes on much of the caregiving herself, regardless of her title. A hands-on mother who disciplines yet indulges her children with treats. This seems to be the new image of ideal royal parenting. Prince George is a tale of courage and a bright future, He is already proving to the world that royal children can be open, inspiring, and most importantly, authentic. It seems likely that the public will continue to follow his journey toward the crown with great interest, but for now, we eagerly await more stories about the most charming little king of our time. Prince George is the future of the British monarchy. But what kind of path must this little boy walk to one day wear the crown? Royal biographer Katie Nicholl, in her book The New Royal Family, explores how the eldest son of the Prince and Princess of Wales is learning from an early age what it means to be part of one of the most famous families in the world. George is being taught to respect tradition, understand the gravity of his royal role, and evidently not shy away from standing his ground, even forcefully, if needed. During an argument at school, George even declared, "My dad is going to be king, so you better watch out," while Katie Nicholl remarks. According to her, the boy has a personality no less strong than his father's, but beneath his childhood outbursts lies a sharp sense of fairness and leadership. Prince William has often noted that his eldest son reminds him of himself as a child. Energetic and assertive, George is described by William as more of a cheeky little monkey than the stern heir to the throne, much to his father's amusement. However, George's personality goes beyond playful antics. His curiosity and honesty shine through even on grand formal occasions. For instance, during Barack Obama's visit to the UK, George seemed completely unimpressed by the importance of the American president. Instead, the boy was more intrigued by the unusually subdued demeanor of his uncle, Prince Harry. In his childlike straightforwardness, he asked, "Uncle, why are you so sad and quiet today?" Naturally, this moment didn't escape the journalists, turning into an amusing anecdote about the young heir. George's first royal tour took place when he was just 9 months old. Together with his parents, he traveled to New Zealand and Australia. Even at such a tender age, the public's attention was firmly on him. George's presence alone made the tour a PR triumph. Only a few photos of the young prince were enough for the media to crown him the little star of the show. But along with the spotlight, George's royalty also comes with moments of childlike whimsy. At just 3 years old, during a trip to Canada, he famously refused to shake hands with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The leader politely offered his hand as a friendly gesture, but George, after pausing for a moment, dryly responded, "Thank you, but no." This incident sparked countless memes and jokes, with many noting the young monarch's clear ability to set boundaries early on. George's playful spirit extends beyond official settings to his home life as well. Once, when William was away on royal duties, young George searched for his dad in their home's china room, convinced the name meant William would be there. When he discovered the room was empty, he declared in a mix of disappointment and frustration, "Daddy's not here, but he's supposed to be in China." These little anecdotes bring a touch of humanity to George's royal persona. It's clear that George's inherited fascination with aviation has the potential to become more than just a hobby. One delightful moment occurred during an air show when the young prince expressed his desire to fly a real plane. "Mummy, can I fly that plane right now?" Again, he excitedly asked Kate Middleton, momentarily flustering his mother but drawing laughter from those around. This passion for aviation echoes his father William, who trained as a pilot and achieved the rank of captain. Perhaps one day George will also pursue his love for flying, but for now, it remains an endearing interest. Nonetheless, George's unique position in life is something he already senses intuitively, and his parents are carefully introducing him to the responsibilities that come with it. The Duke and Duchess of Wales emphasize the importance of respecting every person's work. George, Charlotte, and Louis are taught to tidy up their toys, organize their clothes, and even help out in the kitchen. Lessons that emphasize the dignity of labor, whether it's performed by chefs, housekeepers, or any other member of the palace staff, essential to royal life. In addition, William and Kate instill sincerity and emotional openness in their children. During shared family meals, breaking from tradition, the children are encouraged to join conversations as equals, fostering a sense of confidence and comfort no matter the company. A particularly poignant element of George's upbringing is his connection with family history. Alongside his relatives, he visits the resting place of his grandmother, Princess Diana. Her legacy serves as a powerful reminder to the royal children of the heritage they carry and the path that lies ahead. Prince George is not only a spirited child with natural leadership qualities, but also a growing beacon for a reimagined monarchy. His parents firmly believe that the modern royal family should be closer to the people than ever before, and through their deliberate parenting choices, They are laying the foundation for a future in which George will not only reign, but inspire. Prince George is not just the heir to the British throne, but an ordinary child in many ways, filled with playful mischief, unexpected habits, and memorable moments that make his life both unique and relatable. The world is endlessly fascinated by his persona, but beyond the bounds of the official royal crest lies a charming, down-to-earth boy who has inherited a unique blend of responsibility and cheeky spirit from his parents and grandfather. Stories and news about George constantly provide the public with fresh and tantalizing details. From his earliest years, the young prince enjoyed a warm and loving relationship with his great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. He affectionately called her Gangan, a nickname stemming from his toddler's interpretation of the word granny. This endearing habit of shortening names extends to George's relationships with his own siblings. For example, his younger brother Louis is lovingly called Lulu, and his sister Charlotte goes by Lottie at home. Meanwhile, the young prince has earned the nickname PG based on his initials and feels perfectly at home using this title among his family. Despite his royal status, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are committed to raising their children as close to ordinary life as possible. For instance, George attended a standard nursery school where the staff referred to him simply as George. There, he learned to wash dishes, tie his shoelaces, and even fold his own clothes. This principle is enforced at home as well. No physical punishments and no excessive restrictions. If George ever lost his temper and threw a tantrum, Catherine found an unconventional way to handle it. Sometimes she would begin singing loudly, or in some cases, she would drop to the floor and scream alongside him. She claims this method works flawlessly. The upbringing of royal children follows a modern approach. They are taught to respect labor, embrace other cultures, and develop strong life skills. For example, George started learning Spanish as a toddler thanks to his nanny, and later added French to his repertoire as part of his school curriculum. Alongside academics, George participates in sports just like other kids, playing football, skiing, and learning to play tennis. Prince George attended the prestigious private school, Thomas's Battersea in London, a highly sought-after institution among the elite families of the capital. The school offers an extensive academic and creative program featuring French, music, drama, and ballet, alongside natural sciences, IT, and geography. Beyond the core curriculum, students can choose from dozens of extracurricular activities, ranging from cooking and crafts to chess, cricket, fencing, golf, and even gardening. Remarkably, George's royal status does not affect his day-to-day life at school. Even the teachers and students refer to him and his sister as simply George and Charlotte Cambridge, treating them like any other children. No special privileges are afforded to them. Both participate in the standard curriculum that covers everything from sports and history to the study of world religions. That said, life has not been without its quirks. In 2019, some parents at the school complained in online forums about the unavoidable presence of George's security detail, which often caused inconvenience. They alleged that security vehicles frequently blocked access to sidewalks and electric vehicle charging stations. It's an absolute nightmare, anonymous parents reportedly complained to the school. As usual, Kensington Palace declined to comment on the heated discussions. It's worth noting that gaining admission to Thomas's Battersea is no small feat. The school sees 3 children compete for every available spot, with unusual selection criteria that include confidence, kindness, sociability, and what the school administrators describe as a spark in their eyes. Despite the formalities of royal protocol, at home or in the palace gardens, George transforms back into an ordinary little boy. As his father, Prince William, reveals, George is full of energy, leaping off furniture, dashing through hallways, and bouncing from one thing to another, seemingly willing to break something at any moment. "Please tell me this will pass one day," William joked. However, even during his antics, George displays good manners. Public appearances are never accompanied by tantrums, though at home, it's a different story. Away from the constraints of strict royal etiquette, George thrives in a relaxed and happy family environment. Alongside learning soft skills, the children are also taught to honor their family's history. Prince George, along with his siblings, often visits the resting place of their grandmother, Princess Diana. These visits not only establish a deep connection to significant figures in their family, but also teach the children to understand the importance of their heritage. Prince George is a shining example of how palace etiquette can coexist with the natural joys of childhood. His parents are doing everything they can to raise him not just as a future monarch, but as a confident, kind-hearted and genuine person who will understand and maintain a close connection to the people he is destined to lead. Prince George is the rising star of the British monarchy, a royal heir with a unique destiny, blending timeless traditions with modern ease. From an early age, he has captured the attention of his parents, his family, and millions of people as a symbol of the monarchy's future. So how is he being prepared for the long and challenging road ahead? His life is filled not just with royal privileges, but also with captivating moments that reveal the character of the young heir. One of the fascinating aspects of George's upbringing is his schooling, which differs even from the norms of London's elite. Thomas's Battersea operates under the slogan, "Be kind." And from day one, students are taught tolerance through friendliness and equality. The school boasts children from at least 19 different countries, fostering an atmosphere where the social skills and communication are paramount. Interestingly, at Thomas's, even the phrase best friend is frowned upon, as every child is considered equal to their peers. In addition to core subjects, Prince George studied ballet, music, drama, and art, as well as French. The school's curriculum encompasses geography, IT, and religious studies, introducing children to Christianity and the fundamentals of the Bible. For those eager to expand their horizons, the school offers about 60 extracurricular activities, from gardening and yoga to cricket matches, fencing, and even knitting. However, George's presence at Thomas's Battersea brought unexpected changes beyond the classroom as well. The Battersea neighborhood, where the school is located, saw a significant boom in the real estate market. The average cost of homes near the school starts at £1.5 million, and property prices skyrocketed after George's enrollment was announced. Some buyers are willing to pay over £4 million just to be closer to the school that educates the future king. In 2022, William and Catherine made the decision to move to Windsor, seeking a more peaceful and home-centered education for their children. Still, the question of selecting the right educational path for their eldest son remains a key concern. Like his father and grandfather, Prince George might attend a boarding school in the future. However, William and Catherine are mindful of Prince Charles's difficult experiences in school, where he endured significant bullying, and they do not wish to expose George to similar challenges. According to reports from The Express, George had a trial day at a potential new school, the details of which remain undisclosed. It was noted that his classmates paid no special attention to his royal status, as the teachers had intentionally not revealed his identity as a prince. Accustomed to the friendly atmosphere at Thomas's Battersea, George found the indifference surprising and even requested to return to his previous school. Nevertheless, the royal family firmly believes that any transition takes time to adapt. William and Catherine are working hard to instill in George a love of learning, resilience, and the ability to face challenges head-on. Even during a busy academic year, the little royal rebel finds moments for life beyond school. In the summer of 2022, George became a social media sensation after an official event. At one gathering, smiling, he jokingly remarked to someone, "You might want to touch up your hair color." Yay. The comment instantly charmed the internet, with users pointing out how much George's mannerisms and expressions resembled his legendary grandmother, Princess Diana. "The Spencer genes are so strong," bloggers exclaimed. That's Diana's smile. When it comes to royal duties, George doesn't just appear at official events, he's already taken on meaningful roles within the monarchy. At King Charles III's coronation in May 2023, George had the honor of serving as a page of honor. Along with 7 other children from noble families, George accompanied the king and queen, carrying the train of their lavish green and gold robes. The young prince's life is closely watched by the press and the cameras, with every step analyzed as a potential glimpse into the monarch he might become. Still, William and Catherine are doing everything they can to ensure his childhood is as normal as possible. George's growing years and his development will undoubtedly bring new decisions and challenges, but he already demonstrates incredible resilience. While the world watches him, Prince George effortlessly balances his responsibilities as the heir to the throne with the playful spirit of a boy who laughs, asks tough questions, and embraces new hobbies. It will be fascinating to see how this young boy, who has already captured the hearts of millions, unfolds his talents and grows into his role as king. Prince George, the eldest son of the Prince and Princess of Wales, continues to captivate the public not only with his status as heir to the British throne, but also with his remarkable ability to balance tradition and modernity. One of the most pivotal moments in his young life thus far was the coronation of his grandfather, King Charles III, during which George had the honor of serving as a page of honor. Initially, the idea of their son participating in such an important event gave Catherine and William pause. They felt George might be too young for such a significant role. However, after a heartfelt discussion with him, the parents decided it would be an invaluable learning experience. To prepare him for the big day, Catherine took the initiative herself. She carefully explained all 6 stages of the ceremony, from the oath-taking to the coronation and enthronement. To immerse him further, she even arranged a virtual tour of Westminster Abbey, allowing George to envision the proceedings in advance. One challenge turned out to be adapting to the ceremonial outfit he was required to wear for the occasion. The traditional uniform of a page of honor included a crimson coat with gold embroidery, a white satin vest, breeches, stockings, polished black buckle shoes, and a lace tie. However, George carried himself with grace even in such a formal and elaborate ensemble, showcasing his natural poise and style. Speaking of style, fashion is a notable passion for the young prince. Since infancy, his wardrobe has inspired millions, with anything he wears selling out almost instantly, be it overalls, shorts, or buttoned cardigans. This phenomenon has been dubbed the Prince George effect. For example, the Aden plus Anais swaddle blanket in which he was first presented to the world became a massive bestseller, with the manufacturer's sales skyrocketing by 400%. As he grows older, George continues to delight fans with his sartorial choices, which reflect classic British style and often mirror the wardrobes of his father, Prince William, and even his grandfather, King Charles III. Up until the age of 3, George wore traditional rompers and cotton shirts, later transitioning to more grown-up checkered shirts, embroidered sweaters, and shorts. There is even an unspoken royal family tradition. Young boys wear shorts, while adult men wear trousers. The first exception for George came at his uncle Prince Harry's wedding, where he appeared in formal trousers for the first time. For special events, George's wardrobe often incorporates the colors of the British flag, blue, red, and white, underscoring his role as an heir to the throne. Yet, in everyday moments captured by Catherine, who has a passion for photography, George looks like any other young boy, blending classic styles with the spontaneity of childhood. Catherine and William continue to honor the traditions of the royal family while striving to balance these with modern values in parenting. Many items in George's wardrobe are heirlooms. For instance, the christening gown he wore had been passed down through generations of royal children over several decades. Every new photo of George creates a media buzz. For his 11th birthday, he once again became the subject of a portrait photograph taken by his mother. In the image, George is wearing a white shirt and blazer, looking more mature, yet his bright smile and relaxed expression remind everyone that he is still very much a child. Despite public attention and the strict rules of royal etiquette, George exudes a natural confidence and ease in his role. His journey to the throne has only just begun, but it is already clear that the young Prince of Wales is setting new standards for modern heirs. With the support of his parents and family, he is steadily finding his place in the world, combining the charm of an ordinary boy with the elegance of a future king. Prince George, adored by millions worldwide, has truly become a phenomenon. From his fashion choices to his hobbies and even the gifts he receives on special occasions, every detail about his life fascinates royal fans and the wider public alike. The ongoing fascination has even inspired a fashion blog titled What Prince George Wore, dedicated exclusively to his style. Every outfit he wears instantly becomes a bestseller, further cementing the young heir's enormous influence on the fashion industry. George's popularity began even before he was born. One notable example is the gift he received from jewelry designer Theo Fennell in honor of his birth, an exquisite 18-karat white gold bracelet valued at £10,000 sterling, more than 1 million rubles. The bracelet was later auctioned, with the proceeds donated to charity. For George's first birthday, the number of gifts he received exceeded 1,000. Among the most notable was a luxurious playhouse worth £18,000 sterling, approximately 2 million rubles, gifted by his grandfather, King Charles III. Created by the British company Plankbridge, the playhouse was more than just a toy. It was a miniature villa complete with a tiny wood stove, a couch, and even interior decor resembling a cozy countryside retreat. During his school years, George received a decorative globe made of precious lapis lazuli from Pope Francis, symbolizing his future role as a monarch. Queen Elizabeth II, known for her sharp humor, joked that George would appreciate the gift more as he grew older. It will be fascinating for George, but maybe a bit later. Alongside these symbolic gifts, George also has a collection of toy cars that many adults would envy. A standout in this collection is a dark green miniature Aston Martin passed down to him by his father, Prince William, and his uncle, Prince Harry. The unique child-sized convertible, capable of reaching speeds of up to 32 kilometers per hour, was produced in a limited run of just 25 units. Another memorable highlight in George's delightful life was his first trip to the Caribbean at only 6 months old. Along with Catherine and her family, he vacationed on the island of Mustique, staying in a villa with 4 bedrooms, a swimming pool, and a gorgeous garden. Later, on his 6th birthday, George returned to this idyllic paradise, this time staying in a neighboring villa at the cost of £27,000 sterling per week. It comes as no surprise that George has developed a fondness for the underwater world. His love for swimming turned into a new hobby when, according to Prince William, they introduced him to scuba diving during a family outing. Initially apprehensive that George might be scared, they were pleasantly surprised when he absolutely loved it. This passion for diving seems to have been passed down from his parents. Both William and Catherine were avid divers during their 2022 visit to Belize. Prince George is not just an inspiration in the fashion and social domains, he is also a growing creative talent. For Christmas 2022, he painted a watercolor of a stag and robins that impressed many. This image was even used by the family as part of their holiday greetings to their followers. The artist behind the inspiration for the Christmas cards, Hannah Dale, complimented George's innate sense of composition and color. One of George's more surprising passions is cooking. He not only loves pizza, but also enjoys making the dough himself. Princess Catherine humorously admitted that his enthusiastic culinary experiments often leave the kitchen in complete disarray. Cooking has become a family tradition in their household. During a visit to a London primary school, Catherine shared a story about her children. She revealed that one day, George, Charlotte, and Louis decided to prepare cheesy pasta together. One worked on the dough, another helped with the sauce. Through all his diverse interests and activities, the young heir to the British throne shows that his unique status can coexist harmoniously with his personal passions. George isn't just a prince. He is an evolving personality with talent in art, swimming, automobiles, and even cooking. His sincerity, friendliness, and natural charm remind the world daily that even those born to greatness have a relatable, human side, one filled with hobbies, joys, and the occasional mischief of a regular child. As time goes on, his influence grows, and his passions and talents begin to pave the way for new cultural and style trends. Prince George, who turned 11 this year, has already become a symbol of a new generation of the British monarchy. Despite his young age, he is steadily growing into his role as a member of the royal family. Whether playing sports, exploring his creative side, or enthusiastically stirring batter for a Christmas pudding with his family, George is beginning to understand the responsibilities he will one day carry. But while fans track his every move, his public life offers space not only for royal obligations, but also for the simple joys and hobbies of childhood. In December 2019, 4 generations of monarchs, Queen Elizabeth II, Charles, William, and young George, came together for a charitable event for the Royal British Legion. Together, they prepared Christmas puddings. A video of George mixing the pudding batter with a serious expression quickly went viral. It charmed viewers worldwide, who noted how earnestly he took on the task, proving that even the heir to the throne can find joy in the simplest of activities. But George is far more than a diligent helper in the kitchen. He's also an active young athlete. He participates in dance, tennis, and is even learning the art of diving. According to Prince William, George inherited his passion for dance from his grandmother, Princess Diana, who was a devoted fan of the performing arts. In tennis, he took a significant step when he received a one-on-one lesson from none other than Roger Federer, who praised George's natural talent and skill, pointing out his impressive athletic potential. Charity is already playing an important role in George's life and will no doubt become one of his key responsibilities as he grows older. His father, Prince William, a vocal advocate for environmental causes and mental health awareness, consistently demonstrates to George that a royal role must go hand in hand with helping others. His grandfather, King Charles III, a lifelong supporter of youth initiatives through the Prince's Trust, is also likely to serve as an important source of inspiration for the young prince. Despite his unique position, George remains a child with earnest and relatable dreams. On one occasion, During a visit to Wyvton Hall Cafe in Norfolk, he was shown a wood-fired pizza oven, to which he exclaimed, "That's what I want to do when I grow up." This moment sparked widespread discussion in the media, showcasing yet again that even a future king can dream about the simplest joys and professions. Pizza, it seems, holds a special place in George's heart. Not only does he love eating it, but he also enjoys participating in its preparation alongside his younger siblings, Charlotte and Louis. Cooking has become something of a tradition in the Wales household. Catherine once shared that her children eagerly worked together to make pizza. One rolled out the dough, another added the sauce, and a third topped it with bacon, delighting in the experience of eating their own creation. However, George still faces the weight of societal expectations regarding his future. Experts suggest that the path to the throne partly depends on the developments within the royal family itself. King Charles III, now 74 years old, presides over a monarchy in transition, while William and Catherine juggle their roles as hands-on parents and senior royals. Should King Charles remain on the throne into his 80s or beyond, George may come to power as an adult, much like his grandfather. This scenario has sparked debate among sections of the British public, many of whom yearn to see a younger monarch on the throne, someone who could bring a fresh perspective to the monarchy. Queen Elizabeth II, who ascended to the throne at 25 years old, remains an inspiration for millions as the ultimate symbol of youthful energy and dedication to duty. Conversations have already turned to whether King Charles might step aside earlier in favor of his son, William, or whether the same scenario will play out for George further down the line. Nevertheless, William and Catherine are committed to giving George the freedom to shape his own path. Unlike King Charles III, whose future was decided for him, George will have the opportunity to make his own choices regarding his education, interests, and role within the monarchy. George's public life is already filled with memorable highlights. For instance, at Christmas in 2022, he charmed royal fans by sharing a watercolor painting he had created himself. Inspired by a festive holiday card, the young prince showcased a talent for art, demonstrating an impressive sense of color and form, as well as a passion for creativity. With his natural charm, budding talents, and wide range of interests, George is seen by many as a symbol of hope and change for the future of the British monarchy. He is learning to embrace his role as heir to the throne and is gradually taking on the responsibilities that come with it. At the same time, he remains a typical child who loves pizza, plays tennis, and discovers the world through the small but meaningful joys of everyday life. Prince George, the future king of the United Kingdom, holds the attention of the world not just for his royal status, but for his vibrant personality. His future is intrinsically tied to the royal family's legacy during a time of significant change. From the public's divided opinions on King Charles III to the expectations placed on William's generation, the question of who will lead the monarchy into a new era is a frequent topic of discussion. One of the most contentious aspects of monarchy debates in recent years has been the age of reigning sovereigns. King Charles III ascended the throne at 74, a fact that received mixed reactions. While his coronation was met with both applause and criticism, protests bearing the slogan, "Not my king," underscored growing divisions about the monarchy's relevance. The arrest of some protesters at the event further fueled critiques of the institution's democratic authenticity. Unsurprisingly, the themes of youthfulness, energy, and readiness for modernization have become central to discussions about the monarchy's future. And who better to embody this vision than Prince George? Princess Diana herself once suggested that the royal line should bypass Charles altogether and pass directly to William, whom she believed had the composure and temperament to make an ideal monarch. She was skeptical of her former husband's ability to successfully lead the monarchy, a sentiment shared by many Britons, who see in William the potential for a modern royal leader who can bridge tradition with contemporary ideals. Now, more than a decade after Queen Elizabeth II's passing, the stability of the monarchy's long-standing traditions is increasingly called into question. In this context, attention is already shifting not only to William, but also to George, as the next generation must prepare to take on roles some older members of the family may not be ready to fulfill. George, now 11 years old, is growing up under constant public scrutiny, with every detail of his life analyzed and debated. Yet he remains a spirited boy, full of humor, curiosity, and an eagerness to explore the world and find his place in it. The older generations of the British royal family represent the weight of tradition and historical endurance, But George is already emerging as a face of the future. In his 11 years, he has inspired fashion bloggers, captivated global admirers with his charm, and shown that even an heir to the throne can be a genuine child, passionate about pizza, painting, and sports. It seems likely that George's future offers the chance to reshape the royal family for a new era. Could he become the monarch who brings the institution closer to the people, making it more open and attuned to the realities of the 21st century? Or might he choose to rethink the role of a monarch altogether, perhaps charting a more independent course? Even those following George's life from the very beginning cannot yet predict the answers. Youth, energy, and innovation. These are the qualities that could not only make George a worthy successor to the throne, but perhaps even a legendary figure of his time. As we observe how he blends the solemnity of his royal duties with the innocence of his childhood, George is already proving that it is possible to carry the weight of history while keeping a playful and lighthearted spirit. What kind of king will George become? Will he be an inspiring leader, a reformer of the monarchy, or perhaps someone who transcends the traditional boundaries of royalty to forge a new path? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think he will uphold the family's legacy or create something entirely new? Leave a comment if this topic resonates with you, and don't forget to like and follow us to stay updated on the future of the British monarchy and the life of its young heir.